Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. So BSG's released their 2019 plan, which is effectively their roadmap for 2019. It doesn't have specific dates on when things are happening, but it's got kind of the layout of their further patches. So I'm going to cover everything in this really quickly. I'm actually meant to be leaving for the cricket very shortly, so I want to get this out. There's some interesting stuff coming up, and I want to cover as much as I can with all the information that we already know. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So in the past, Battlestate Games has released their roadmap. The last one was 2018, and I'll put a link down below, but effectively, there was a lot of hit and misses for 2018. And I like the fact that they're ambitious with their 2019 plans, but there is a lot that they have coming. So the next update is going to have big fixes in optimization iteration. So bug fixes, sound positioning. We've got a lot of issues at the moment with sound, particularly vertical sound. It's pretty crazy with that. You don't know when people are above you and below you. Sometimes you don't hear any audio. The factory stairwell is a big example of that. They're going to be working on their stuttering fixes, the RAM optimization. That stuff's really bad in the labs at the moment. There's so many stutters going on. I love the map to bits. Like, they had a Twitter post recently giving it, you got to rate it out of 5. I gave it a 5, but and then commented saying it's a 5 as a map, but the stutters, lag, desync, and hit reg on the map is absolutely atrocious. So once that gets fixed, it'll be a lot better. This is a constant thing with Battlestate Games. They released a patch, I think it was 10.2. It was probably the best the game had ever been when it came to hit reg and desync, and it's taking a step back. It will get there eventually. I am hopeful in that. But yeah, it's going to be a constant work in progress for the next, well, until the game's finished or dead, effectively. Next, we're talking about balancing tweaks with the weapon mods, balancing, gear parameter changes. I'm not really big on having the weapons and the ammunition all balanced too much. Obviously, there needs to be a point where a gun will be certainly better than another. It should be balanced on rarity, not on actual, hey, make the guns, this gun fire faster so it's got a better chance. In real life, that's kind of not how it works. Some guns shoot faster than others. Some guns, or some calibers, will do more damage than others. Just leave it as a meta for a bit, go 3 months, tweak a little bit, and then just see the reaction and keep going from there. When they change it too often, it gets very confusing for a lot of people, including myself, and I play this game a lot. So I'd hate to be someone who keeps coming back and forth, say, every 2 to 3 months, and they're like, oh shit, I'm using PP ammo for a 545, and it's actually atrocious. So hopefully they'll leave that, to slow it down, the rate in which they keep changing the armor and all that. I don't really know where it's at the moment. I still haven't done much testing with the new armor changes, but I do like the idea that they're always working on balancing and mods and all that. Maybe focus more on the rarity rather than the actual performance of an actual caliber. Various quality of life improvements. We've seen recently so many quality of life improvements. One I want to point out real quickly is the way to hotkey meds. I get this question a lot during the stream. Effectively, if you've got a med in your pockets or your rig, all you have to do is press the number on it and you can hotkey it. These kind of quality of life changes are absolutely amazing. I hope they keep doing this stuff. Receiving your mail, your cash from the flea market, all that stuff in the one screen. Those quality of life changes are absolutely amazing. I'm really glad they're constantly working on them, and they're getting better and better, and I love the fact of that. Now, patch point 11 was actually meant to have a lot more actual features in it, but they ran out of time because they promised it before New Year's, which they delivered on the promise of that. But, for example, they wanted to have character clothing customization. The key cards aren't actually working in the lab. I think you'll see some of the doors will actually have a key card function next to it, but you don't actually use it. You use a key on the actual door. The SVD, they want to include more exfils on maps. The new trader, Jaeger, possibly he will have trade lost uninsured items on the last level of loyalty. New traders are really cool. An idea that's been thrown around, I don't know if it was from Clean or Anton or Veritas. I'm not really sure who was throwing it around, but the idea of having an extra level on the traders and maybe even making it that you've got to go to a higher level and having the top tier gear all on the highest level but barter only. I know that idea was getting thrown around for a while throughout the content creator community, but I kind of like the idea of having more options with traders, and it's getting really messy. Like, you go to find an item. I guess with the quality of life changes, they could actually add some more ways to filter the actual searching of items. Even just a little tiny search bar, you type the name of the item, or just type AK, and then brings up all the AK mods in Prepare, for example, or Skier. I think something like that would actually be like really nice quality of life, and also working with the traders as well. Talking about new third-person character animation optimizations, I'm under the impression this is to do with, say, like the meta animations. They still haven't done the reloading of the mag animations, stuff like that. I know a lot of people were pretty scared of the whole meta animations, what they would cause the game to change like. Personally, I think it worked out really well. I like the fact that it slowed down running and gunning, and it's actually made the game a lot more enjoyable for the fact that there's more tactics in it. I love the fact that Tarkov has so much tactics in the game. New anti-aliasing. Honestly, to me, I don't even have it on. As soon as you turn it on, it seems to make the game run like shit. I'll leave it at that. If they get it improved, awesome. Weapon preset builds an ability to buy and assemble them quickly. So my understanding of this is their idea is to actually have a loadout of a gun that you like. You could save that loadout, and you literally just click purchase this loadout, and that gun will get, and all its mods will get purchased from the traders and put directly into the stash already assembled. That's another quality of life effectively, but it's an amazing ability to speed up moving in and out of raids. Particularly like if you die, say I usually buy 5 guns at a time, for example, and I'll have to spend that time modding them and loading it out. Being able to do that a lot more quickly would be kind of handy. Now, the next big one, which was in the 2018 roadmap, is the patch 0.12, the Hideout. Effectively, the Hideout is this place that in between raids, it's where you're going to go to do all your downtime stuff. As it says in the actual description here, the process of escaping from Tarkov is not as rapid as it seems in reality. A character needs to settle down in order to gain strength, to store the found supplies, equipment and weapons. In other words, regroup to perform the main task in the game. The player begins the construction and organization of the Hideout from scratch. Initially, it imagines an abandoned and cluttered bomb shelter without any means of life support, constantly building and improving the Hideout modules such as generators, waters, ventilation, medblock, intelligence, etc., etc. The player also receives special opportunities for the production of medicines, ammunition, and other various resources. Improvements to the intelligence center provide new opportunities for working with merchants and scavs and much more. So the Hideout is effectively where you're going to sit in between raids. If anyone's played The Division, I anticipate it being like in between maps until they actually go open world, if they do get there. So effectively, you'll have this spot where you can make ammunitions, make your own med supplies. There's talk about off-raid healing. My fear about the whole off-raid healing is the fact that I personally like to be in a raid. I don't want to be spending bulk time outside of raid, and I'm sure other people that don't have as much time as me in particular just want to get in raids and have fun. If you say, for example, have a blacked out limb and you have to wait 5 minutes to go back in because you're waiting for the healing to finish, or maybe you have to pay a certain amount of money to get that healed, but you don't want to waste the money, so you either have to wait. So it's slowing down the game, but to me, it's kind of not like playing the game. It's kind of like playing a simulator. I don't like that idea. I know other people might. That's fine. Personally, if I had to wait, say, I'm going to blow out the numbers, but if I had to wait 20 minutes to be able to go back into a raid without a blacked out limb, I would literally just go into the next raid, drop a grenade at my feet, blow myself up, go back out of the raid, and then be fully healed, and then just go into a raid again. I wouldn't care about kill death ratio. I don't really care about it anyway in my survival rate, but that would be a better option for me because I wouldn't have to worry about the whole waiting for a limb to heal. Now, I'm not saying that's how it's going to be, but that is kind of the impression I've got from this, and how in the 2018 roadmap they said they wanted to have off-raid healing. So it's just one of those things where we don't know. I'm excited to hear more information about the Hideout. It sounds like a really cool idea. We spoke about during one of the podcasts with the team how cool it would be to go into the Hideout and actually say you put the weapons into your weapon case, but there's actually a weapon rack on the wall, and all your modded out weapons can go sit in that rack. So you just chuck it in this case and they appear on the wall, and you got this really cool pimped out Hideout. That kind of stuff sounds really sick to me. I hope they go in more that direction so you can actually have a bit of customization of your own personal world. But yeah, it's a really cool idea. I'm putting my faith in Battlestate games. They delivered with the ammo reloading, and the meta animations, and the game itself is actually a really amazing game. So let's just see where the Hideout goes. Sounds really cool. I'm optimistic, but I'm hesitant to be super keen. Now, they've been talking about the visual enhancement patch with Unity 2018 upgrade for a while now. Apparently, they're very close. They've spoken about this multiple times during either the Russian or the English podcast. But when they move over to the 2018 engine, apparently the way they make the maps will be enhanced in the speed in which they can make them and optimize them. So therefore, they can actually get maps out to us quicker. Awesome news, if you ask me, because let's say 2017 and 18 was very similar when it came to maps. We had the Interchange Edition, but that was pretty much it. So with the 2018 upgrade for the Unity, hopefully this will make a lot of games run a lot smoother as well. It says here the old maps were overhaul, vegetation rework, screen space, effects rework and optimization, general graphics optimization. Very hopeful that this all works in our favor, and it'll all happen hopefully within the first half of 2019. They've said that the military base is the next map to be released. All well and good. I'm excited for it. But I've actually been super keen. I've heard all these rumors about the streets of Tarkov. And that map, like, they've got a roadmap, and it actually shows you the maps that are meant to be added to the game. Streets of Tarkov, I've got told, has either a casino in it or a bank, and it's meant to be like this really cool close quarter battle. Kind of like the lab, but obviously in a street environment. So there's lots of close quarter fighting, which for me, that's like the most exciting part of the game when it comes to the combat side of things. I love how crazy, you're using angles and all that. Reminds me of like my military background. But yeah, so whilst releasing the military base, I hope that they move into actually releasing the maps already on the roadmap from last year. So they're also working on stationary weapons. I know they want to put fixed mount, say 50 cals into the game, so you'll be sitting up, say, on the top of dorms with a 50 cal. I think that's really cool. It'd be kind of cool to run into a raid with an ammo box of 100 rounds, and you'll be like legging up to the dorms, get on the top floor to then sit up there and defend it. I don't know. Like, those ideas sound really cool. How they work in practice could be totally different. New boss updates. They're going to have a new boss in each map, and some will have two. The closest boss they've got being released will be the Wood Scav boss. All we know at the moment is Kajani. Hopefully I didn't butcher the name. And there's some artwork out. I'll see if I can source it for this video. If it is, it'll be up there somewhere. But effectively, my hope is it's going to be some cool SVD, sniper, raider, scav thing that will have like a ghillie suit. I really like the idea, I'll just chuck this out there, of a ghillie suit that you can wear, but you can't wear it with armor. So then you could like have this really cool looking bush ghillie suit. I'm bringing up PUBG here, like the PUBG ghillie suit, because I think that looked sick in that game. And then you could actually run around with no armor on, but have this really cool looking suit. Anyway, and then they're going to be putting in the new PvE groups, the UN troops, the cultists, boss guards, and others. Really keen for this. I actually like this idea I've brought up before in the past of, with the PvE groups, say you'll have a trader that is a representative for each of the groups. So say, let's just use the UN and the cultists. And say, if you were to kill cultists, the UN like you for it. And then eventually you have a trader rep that goes up by how many cultists you kill. To the point where you will never be able to purchase stuff from the cultist trader, but you'll be able to buy items from the UN trader. And then vice versa. So then you could kill UN troops, and then once you get enough rep with the cultists, you'd actually be able to trade with the cultists, but not the UN trader. I like the idea of actually putting other dynamic things in the game like that, so not everyone has the ability to purchase from every trader. It's kind of taking a little bit from, say, World of Warcraft, how they've got reputation with traders in there. But those ideas just, in my opinion, are really cool, because it's like, it adds diversity to how you play the game. It's not just as simple of, I'm just going to go to level 40 and get access to everything. It's like, oh, do I actually kill the UNs or do I kill the cultists? What do I want more of? Do I want the cool bright blue outfits, or do I want like sneaky daggers? So there's talk about the whole big storyline quest. I used to talk to Colonel Twerkins, who used to pop in my chat every now and then, and he used to tell me about how the main storyline quest is somewhere between 80 and 120 quests, and it's to pretty much, you're meant to complete that to unlock the open world. The storyline quest is like a main storyline, and every other quest that we're doing at the moment is kind of like an offshoot. Just to give perspective, there's about 150 quests in the game at the moment. So if they were to add 80 to 120 quest storyline, it'd be about double the amount of quests. So you're constantly going to have a lot of quests to do, which if they're giving the same amount of XP, which we don't know how the XP is going to work in the future anyway, but you'll be able to level up fairly quickly just from getting your tasks done. They're meant to have cinematics. They're meant to be this really in-depth story, maybe using some of the information from the book and the lore, and well, you will use the information from the lore, but it's meant to be this really cool story that they've made around the whole of Tarkov. To me, this is where the core of the game should be based off, and so then the cultists should have their like the reason why they do their thing, like because of that, and same with the UN, the scavs, and the PMCs. So I'm really excited for the main storyline quest. I think it'll actually be probably one of the most exciting things to be added to the game, because it's actually going to give depth to the story, why you actually care about Tarkov, why you care about escaping Tarkov. Other features they're going to have coming out in the future updates: metric graphs for the flea market, so you'll be able to actually see how items are trending on the flea market, if something's going up in value, down in value. So that's kind of that's needed, really, for the people that actually love the flea market side of the game and just want to play flea market. That's going to be great for them. But they're also saying here the inclusion of the corrected dynamic prices. So they're going to re-implement the dynamic prices at some point. We'll have a go at trying to break them and figure out how we can influence them. I am saying this right here, guys. I'm actually doing it because I want it to be good. I want the actual dynamic prices to work correctly. I'm not doing it to just make a shitload of money and remove it from the game. I actually love the idea of dynamic prices, but I think, personally, I'm just going to chuck this out here. There needs to be two types of prices. One, the price that someone wants to buy the item at instantly, and one, the price that someone wants to sell the item at instantly. And then the dynamic price will actually sit in between those two. Not the fact that it'll sell, it'll sit above and only go up. Because, you know, say I've got a Bitcoin, I want to sell it instantly. I don't have to put it up on the flea market, wait for someone to buy it and get it that way. So someone might have, I want to buy it for 100K. Another person might be trying to sell it for 150K. The dynamic price should sit somewhere between. If I just want to sell it straight away, I can get 100 gruz straight away. But if I want to just chuck it up, undercut the guy a little bit, say go 149,000, and that might sell, which is all good. And the dynamic price would sit somewhere in between. That's the... I'm not an economic expert or anything, but that is where I imagine the system needs to work. If the dynamic prices are purely based off how items are selling more and more expensively, and there's no reason why they should ever go down, it's going to get to the point where an item will just go to the point where it's 150,000 rubles and no one's ever going to use it. And the other option is you either need to have it that if a certain amount aren't sold, the price will slowly drop down again. There's ways of doing this. I'm not an economic expert. I'm going to leave that one at there. This one is the item global pool introduction, test of global depleting economy. I don't know if that's what I'm talking about with the whole items slowly going down in price, or items slowly being decreased on how many are going to be sold, to the point where you're going to actually have to just get all your items from in-games, or have to get the few items that are left on traders. I go with the latter. I think items will just go to the point where they're slowly sold out, and effectively there won't be much to be purchased from a trader, making it a lot more difficult to actually figure out what a price of an item is actually worth. Offline mode improvements, cinematic mode, PvE mode for playing with friends. Really, really like the idea of PvE mode for playing with friends. Not for actually playing with friends as in like I wanted to actually play the game and just kill scavs, but more of the fact that I wanted to be able to test stuff out with people. Going into an offline mode, going in with having a heap of armor to test with, we could shoot each other up, figure out what's working, what's not, work out sights and all that kind of stuff, and get some really good footage so we can actually improve the game and make it as amazing as we possibly can. To me, this should actually be the highest priority of anything 2019 besides maybe fixing the stutters and lags and desync and hit reg, because this actually helps us find more errors and faults within the game. It does open up the opportunity for people to be able to find glitches, exploits, and bugs within the game that can break the game. But in saying that, at least if they're found, they're reported, they're fixed. That's kind of how I see it. So the more tools that we have as testers, content creators, and players to find out the problems with the game and make it better, the better it will be. Inventory system changes, auto sorting, usability improvement. That's pretty much going over how people want some auto sort functions for the stash. I think that's really cool. I think like a simple thing would be, say you have an eye case, and you have a little button that you can push on the eye case, and you can actually set it to a certain item. So you say ammo, and and you press the button on the item case, all the ammo goes in there or something. Or you can go trade items, click that, and all the trade items get chucked in there. Cool little things like that. Quality of life, making the game faster so you can spend more time in raids than outside of raids. Daily tasks. This is something we've been speaking about for a while now, mostly because we just want an end game. With daily tasks, I think it'd be cool to have the dailies, weeklies, and monthlies. So then someone who doesn't play very often can get a daily done. Someone who plays every day can get their weeklies and monthlies done, and it can have tiered rewards. Maybe even for the monthly ones, it can have like a reward that will not actually impact the game itself, but maybe have transmogrification. So for example, you can actually get, if you complete a monthly, you'll actually get the ability to purchase a red bandana. Like you could have like the Karate Kid bandana. I don't know, just something different. That someone that puts the effort in gets that little cool item, but it's not required. And then you could maybe sell some up on the flea market that everyone can try it. Compasses and binoculars. I know a lot of people have been talking about this in the past. Compasses pretty much for being able to say, hey, you know, north, west, whatever you want to use. I'm from a military background in Australia. We use mills, but you can say like, you know, to the northeast there's two guys on top of the hill, and you can quickly bring up your compass. That would be really handy. With the binoculars, I've actually been using an MP7 with an IR scope on it, just so it takes up 2 slots, and then using it as a spotting scope. I've been doing a lot of raids on customs doing that. It's hopefully they not just put binoculars in there, but they could put thermal binoculars in there. I think that'd be really cool. Mines and tripwires, they are what they are. Bouncing betties, claymores. I know they've spoken about that, showed plenty of images in the past. So we'll see how they go. Apparently they're all going to be on either user activated, and I think one of them can be on trip that can be disarmed. New weapon mechanics and abilities to control your character. Originally, the understanding was as you leveled up your weapon mastery, you meant to be able to get different cool animations for each weapon. I'm under the impression that's what this is talking about. It could be something else. And the abilities to control your character, I don't really know exactly what they're talking about. This could be lots of things, really. So we'll leave it at that. I haven't heard anything special in the past where they say you want to be able to do barrel rolls or anything like that. Maybe you might be able to do better vaulting, for example. So guys, I've already talked way longer than I was actually anticipating. I thought I'd be able to wrap this up in under 10 minutes. It's been a little bit longer, but hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I've had to rush this as quickly. I don't have as many images up as I would have liked, but it just happens to be my fiance's birthday today, and we're just about to head off to watch the cricket and then spend New Year's Eve together. She's born on New Year's Eve, so it's her day, not New Year's to me. So thank you very much, guys, for watching it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for future content. Comment down below on anything you think is really cool out of the new 2019 roadmap. And guys, have an amazing, safe New Year's. Hope you have a blast. Drink a few frothies, but don't get too drunk. Be safe and responsible. As I'm getting older now, I'm more of an adult. But anyway, guys, have an absolute blast, and I'll see you guys next year. We're gonna party like it's 1999.